Good morning. Thank you. That's nice to hear. I'm Tom Lojudas. I use the nouns he and him that you'll see posted on my chest. I serve this congregation with the Connection Circles and also a part of the Leadership Development Committee. And today I am the Worship Associate. Welcome to our special place. We welcome especially those joining us for the first time or the first few times. We live stream our services on YouTube, and our recordings are saved at UUQCQC YouTube channel. If you don't want to appear in the recordings, you can sit under the owl's nest by the bookshelves. Also, we do not have the camera on the children. We have the camera on Tiffany. We respect the privacy of our children. Thank you for joining us this morning. We invite you to join us in the sanctuary, not downstairs, but in the back of the sanctuary where they're preparing right now for the coffee, snacks, and also the conversation that we'll have. We will have a town hall meeting this morning at 11:15 a.m., so our coffee time will be a little bit shorter than usual. The town hall begins at 11:15. What are town halls? I asked when I first came to this congregation. Town halls provide an opportunity for the congregation to learn and ask questions about the annual report and items that will be on the voting ballot at the annual congregational meeting. Please attend today so we can answer your questions before you decide how to vote. Also, note in addition to the program, that Gates Thomas is not with us today, but in my view, we're blessed with Jared Williams joining us on the piano. The man has good vibes. And also Lori McCullum will also be providing music as we do our hymns. That's your cue.
Tom, okay, we can do this. Welcome. I've been looking for my drink, and it was right there on that little black stand, so we're good now. Ready to go. Join us as we light the chalice with Tom lighting the chalice. And it says, we light this chalice, kindling the embers of imagination within us that whispers, what if, and dares us to answer. May our minds open, our hearts awaken, and together we nurture visions that grow beyond us today. I'm Alice Martin. That's my maiden name, my imagination. I'm Alice Martin, and use pronouns she and her, and I will be leading the service this morning with Tom. So I'd like to just have a brief conversation about the theme of our service. And as we have used Soul Matters throughout the course of the year from a UUA resource, May's theme is imagination. To warm us up to what the essence of imagination is, I'm going to begin with a short story, and I have loved this story and occasionally read it still, as well to my grandkids and my 3 kids. As I read it, I encourage you to empty your minds, float back into a time where you get the essence of the imaginative way that Maurice Sendak writes, where the wild things are. Let us go back into that imaginary world of where wild things are. Here is Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, I'll eat you up. And he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled right through, and in a private boat, Max sailed off through the night and the day, in and out of weeks and almost a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to that place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and they gnashed their terrible teeth, and they rolled their terrible eyes, and they showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, be still, and he tamed them with that magic trick of staring into all of their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all and made him the king of all the wild things. Till Max said, and when he came, he said, be still. And now that you have been still, let the rumpus begin. And what a rumpus they made until Max said, now stop. And he sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat, so he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, oh, please don't go. We'll eat you first. We love you. And Max said, no. The wild things roared their terrible roars, and they gnashed their terrible teeth, and they rolled their terrible eyes, and they showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And he sailed back over a year, in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him, and it was still hot. Robin Williams once said, you're only given a little spark of madness. Don't lose it. Where the wild things are is madness. Do we as adults still live with that spark of madness? Or have we lost that madness as we cross the threshold into adulthood? That madness may be what keeps us insane, and that is what we will discover. Our opening song, May We Rise, come sing a song with me, page 346 in the Gray Hymnal.
A song with me. join a song with me, that I might know your name. When hope is hard to find, winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and roses winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. I'll bring a song of love and winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose.
Are you going to do the greeting each other? Glory started before I could say that.
Yeah, I can do that. Sure.
Me standing and go greet each other.
Hope is hard to find. A song of love and a rose in the winter time. And please remain standing. In the spirit of love and fellowship, we now greet each other of the holy in our midst by briefly greeting those around us, especially those we do not know.
Turn the microphone on. Good morning. Come on up, friends. Good morning, friends. Is this mic on? There we go. Do we like butterflies? We have a special treat this morning. Addie is going to be reading our book. No, Ezra. Eating butterflies is no. They'd fly around in your stomach.
They would. Can you lower it? Okay. Yeah. Make way for butterfly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. We had finished them.
Hey, what are you doing? Pollinating.
Susan,
Paula, what now?
Penny.
Oh, Paula, what now? Bringing pollen from flower to flower. Obviously, why? Pollen helps flowers grow seeds. The seeds grow into plants that make more flowers and fruits. They all help sustain the ecosystem. It's no big deal. Just kidding. It's a very big deal. Wow, I wish I were a pollinator. Very important pollinator. You are. I know. Right. I knew that. VIP, very important pollinator. Name, Bumblebee, ecosystem helper. Wait, you're telling me I am a pollinator? Yes. And I help make flowers new flowers? Yes. For real? Yes. Wait for me. Oh, wait. Now what? Just eat nectar and the pollen sticks to you. Right. Pollen. What's pollen again? These yellow grains. I thought that was cheese. Look out, ecosystem. I'm going to collect the most pollen ever. What? How did you collect so much pollen? I have sticky hairs everywhere. Oh, I'm not sticky enough. That's okay. You don't need to collect as much pollen as a bee. Just be a butterfly. Right. You're saying I need to be stickier. Glue stick. Super duper sticky glue. Quick dry formula. Troy, did you just say yummy? Uh-oh, too sticky. I'm stuck. I have a question. Yes? It's not for me. It's for a friend. Got it. What's the question? Say this friend accidentally glued themselves to a flower. What advice would you give them? I'll get some water. Now what are you doing? Filling my pollen basket to carry extra pollen. Do I have those? No, you don't need to carry as much pollen as a bee. Just be a butterfly. Right. What you're saying is I need my own pollen baskets.
Sounds like butterfly's a little ambitious.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true, Caroline. Butterfly's a little jealous.
Are you sure you can fly with that much extra pollen? Of course, butterflies can lift 50 times our weight. I thought that was ants. Smash. It's ants. We fly from flower to flower and eat more nectar. The pollen falls off and the flower does the rest. Got it. So how many flowers do bees visit each day? About 3,000. 3,000 flowers? I can't fly that fast. I'm more of a flutterer. What I need is a jetpack. You don't need to fly as fast as a bee. Just be a butterfly. Oh no, I can't watch. Wait, did I show them the other page? Ecosystem, do not fear. Pollinator is here. Kaylee. Make way for butterfly. Crash. Out. I'm no help as a butterfly. That's it. I need to be even more like bee. I need to be fuzzier and buzzier and stripier. Buzz, 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 buzz. And stickier and stingier. And you can never have too many pollen baskets. Now I am a very important pollinator. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Excuse me, have you seen butterfly? Nope, it's just us bees. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Too bad I have an important job for butterfly. A butterfly? Ha! Why? As you know, we bumblebees must stay close to our nest. If only butterfly were here to help bring this pollen to the flowers far, far away. Bee, it's actually me, butterfly. I can help. I can fly long distances. Great, you got this. Just be a butterfly. Just be a butterfly.
Just be a butterfly. Just be a butterfly.
Oh. I did it. I helped the ecosystem. See, our different ways of pollinating are both very important. You're right. From now on, I'll just be the best butterfly I can be. VIP, very important pollinator. Name, butterfly. Ecosystem helper. Or maybe a firefly. Oh no.
Good morning. I'm John DeGrieve, and I'm here today as your treasurer again to give you the update on our pledge drive, As of Friday, our total for the pledges are $185,139,000 from a total of 87 pledge units. And as I said last year, give yourself an applaud for that. For those that have not finished or filled out their affirmation and pledge form, Ann is standing by with blank forms for you to fill out. You need to fill out your affirmation form in order to vote, which is coming up in 2 weeks. All right, as our pledge drive comes to a conclusion, we find ourselves short from the budgeted amount that we need to have a halftime minister and funds for our program. Last week I introduced to you the Match Challenge. Since we are entirely self-funded, it is up to us to make up the difference and make this happen. I'm wearing a John Bowman tie today that's Pooh and the family. This is our family. We need to come together and make it happen. So our pledge goal was $245,000, the big number on the top. You heard that we're standing at $185,139, short a few puzzle pieces. But you'll notice that there's some new puzzle pieces that have been added that have an M on them for match. Due to the generosity of several members of our congregation, we introduced the Match Challenge as a fun way to meet our budget and complete the puzzle. For every dollar contributed to the Match Challenge, the donors will match an additional dollar, one for one, up to $30,000. So if all of us donate $30,000 and they donate $30,000, we could have $60,000 more for our budget. As of Friday, we have received $1,010 in actual donations to the match, but we have promises of an additional $12,800 for a total of $13,810 for the first week of the match. This is really... And since I was prepared for the math today, times 2 is $27,620 towards our budget. Now, the unveiling part is with that $27,620 plus the $185,139, we are now at $212,759. Donations can be made by check or cash, and there are envelopes out in the lobby that you can fill out and drop in the basket. We've also created a Match Challenge fund on Realm, so you can go in there and donate on Realm. No donation is too large or too small, and all donations will be doubled. I invite you to donate to our Match Challenge to complete our puzzle and put our congregation on solid financial footing for next year. If you have any questions about it, see me after the service, and I'll refer you to somebody else. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Susan Perry, a member of the pastoral care team. As we gather today, we pause to reflect on what lies within our hearts. In this time of sharing, we take a moment to recognize our personal concerns and joys, and to read from the book of Concerns and Joys, those personal life events you have chosen to share with us. We have one concern in the book. Gail Springer is concerned that her older sister, Grace, is in the hospital and asks for thoughts for her recovery. Are there any concerns online? We have nothing online. And no joys either. Thank you. In the book, we do have 3 joys. Zach Kaufman celebrates summer. He says, I hope everyone's summer blooms with joy, wonder, and fulfillment. Steve Burke and Darcy Anderson have a joy to welcome their daughter and son-in-law to church today. And Gail Springer states that Olivia was accepted into a summer program at St. Ambrose for Future Teachers of America. For what has been shared and for what remains in the quiet sanctuary of our hearts, we are grateful. Let us become aware of the energy that brings us together in beloved community, as we share a time of silent meditation. May we open our minds and hearts to a place of quiet, to a silent prayer for the healing of pain and the comfort of love. You are invited to come forward and light a candle during the musical meditation.
Thank you. This congregation is a theologically diverse religious community with membership open to all who are in accord with our values, mission, and vision. Our congregation is entirely self-governed by the democratic process. One of the privileges of a free church tradition is to provide all of the financial support for the many ministries from among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and institutional well-being. This month's undesignated plate offering will go toward community meal. The community meal is done in coordination with the Churches United of the Quad Cities area. The UUCQC, that's us, serves a meal for approximately 60 individuals every other month. The meal is prepared in our kitchen and transported to Zion Lutheran Church in downtown Davenport. There's an amazing crew of shoppers, meal preparers, transporters, and services organized and led by Alice Taylor and Karen Crouch. As we participate in the blessing of giving, know that this is gifts for our congregation and also as described. I have offertory music again, and as the offertory music is played, there are folks with baskets. Please be as generous as you are able. Thank you. Thank you again. And thank you for all of the gifts and time and treasure that you give to this congregation. With sincere gratitude, we thank you.
So today is Sunday. It was 4 days ago, Thursday, that I began to think about this reflection. A bit late, I thought, but I wasn't worried because, of course, we all know what imagination is. All we have to do is to go back to our childhood. I was great at being Wonder Woman. I ran around the neighborhood with my fellow superheroes, and we saved our neighbors from these notorious demons that were going to infiltrate the house through the chimney. Or we'd rake the leaves into the backyard in an outline of a house, and then we'd move in, but not after we got married on the front lawn in a fake altar, and everyone got their dolls, and we moved in families into this lawn house. Or how many of us have built a fort in the house, covering the furniture in the living room, hiding underneath the fort in case of any parent coming out to find us. Of course, they can't see through the sheets into our fort, but it was safe there. Then there was that boogeyman that lived under my bed, and I swear every morning he was gone, but I never did find him. But that was when I was a kid. You know, what else is there to do as a kid? You go to school, you don't talk back to your parents, you do a few chores, and the rest you just play. I relished those days, and then I started to think, where is my imagination now? I don't even think of a thing that I could be imaginative about. And is it even existing, or do we lose it when we cross this magic threshold into adulthood? So, is imagination just a kid thing? And maybe as we become adults, we start working the 40-hour week trying to pay the bills, and there's always another thing to do the next day, and you put it off until the next day. Maybe we've just had it taken out of us through daily living. And then there was another question that came to me that I compare myself to those people like Walt Disney. I mean, you want imagination in a human being? Walt Disney. I mean, look what he's created. Then I think back to those, you remember that myth of Icarus who flew with wings too close to the sun? Humans have been trying to recreate that in their imaginations for years, hundreds of years. Matter of fact, the first humans would put bird wings on thinking they could fly, and they would go up top of a tower, and of course they would kill themselves. But many people thought it was because the tail wasn't firm enough, so that began a whole new arena of people dying with wings and with tails, until the imaginative gift of humanity puts a person on the moon. That is what I compare myself to, and I fail greatly. I'm intrigued as well as a computer. How in the world did that ever happen? There was a person counting beans, trying to keep track of sales 100 or so years ago, and he thought there has to be a better way. A wind just came in and blew all my beans away, and now we have a computer with over 3 billion people with a computer. Well, that's imagination. So I was really thinking this through, and I thought, well, maybe you just need to look up the definition. So I did. This is still Thursday. And it states, imagination is a world where thought and images are nested in the mind to form a mental concept of what is not actually present to the senses. Imagination draws upon our memories, our sensory experiences, our emotions, past experiences, and they bring us to that with concepts and images and flashes of words. We've all experienced that. Everyone has an imagination. Well, you know what? It was late Thursday night. I was really tired. It made no sense. So I screamed at the dictionary, I'm going to eat you up. And I turned off the computer because I had to finish the annual reports. How many of us got stuck in that? Okay. So I went to bed. Friday morning, I woke, and I wondered if today would be the day I began to experience imagination. So you know when you wake up in the morning, you lay in bed and you stretch and you move, and it was so comfortable. And then all these random thoughts started marching through my head. It began like this. Oh, I have to clean up the garden spots on the golf course, and I hate to think about it. Garden spot flashes through my mind. The weeds in my mind, I'm having this conversation. The weeds are almost as tall as I am. An image of my head scene. The rest are weeds. Oh, my back hurts. Me rubbing my back. I love trees. Me hugging a tree. You know what? I could be a park ranger and just tend to trees. Alice in a park ranger outfit in the Appalachian Mountains. Oh, I need to wash my clothes. Picture of the washing machine and hear it whirling. Oh, why would I wash them when I'm just going to get dirty doing those stupid weeds? Image of picking a thorn out of my thumb from weeds. I better bring Band-Aids. Picture of Band-Aids. I wish the gardens I have to work with were like the Japanese garden I visited. They were amazing. Image of rocks, harmoniously stacked in a feng shui mode. How cool would that be to have a rock garden instead of a weed garden? Image of golfers standing there admiring my rock garden. Why can't I do that? Image of rock piles around the pond on golf course waiting to be used. I can, in my mind, I can. And I feel an uplifting of my spirit. I can ask the grandkids to help stack the rocks on the garden spaces because they'd love that. And they will love being creative, and I can already see them laughing at the rocks they create, and then they'll fall down and they'll start over again. But they will learn about harmony and patience, and they will know I love them. Hearing kids' laughter. Great idea. I jump out of bed, I put on my dirty work clothes, and I go out to survey the rock pile, and I smile as I drive by the gardens that will soon be transformed through a rock garden in the imagination of my mind. I found imagination. The thoughts that start in our mind that seem so disconnected, our past impression of events, our thoughts, our encounters, the knowledge we remembered, they connect, and they come together like jigsaw puzzle pieces to a triumphant yes. That's it. That's the way. And it can be anything, whether it's tinkering with new recipes to try to make them to fit your taste. And then you take a bite and it's that just mouth blows. Playing a musical score like Sarah does to match the tone of the service. Thinking of ways to bring people into our community as the welcome team tries. Imagining ways to accomplish a task, or envisioning how to let people you love know you love them. All of these things are imagination. And everyone has it, we just don't recognize it. We imagine, as I did, the Walt Disneys of the world, the Wrights of the world, who do these great accomplishments and achievements. And we put that as a standard to judge our own on. But you know what? It's not the big things. It's not the big things that occur in the final product that took years of imaginative thought by millions. It doesn't happen overnight. But it's the small imaginings that happen in the moments that grow into the big things. By including my grandkids in my rock garden imagination, maybe someday that memory for them will lead them to be environmentalists. Or when older and needing to know they are loved, they'll remember the time we spend together and then know that they are loved. But as with everything, there's two sides. The yin and the yang, the dark and the night, the plus and the minus. We set limits on our imagination by how we think about ourselves and the world as a whole. A metaphor for those limits is seen in the train of elephants groomed for the circus. The handlers start the elephant's training as a baby, and they chain their leg to an anchor, and then they confine it to a 12-diameter circle. By the time it's an adult, the chain is removed, and the adult, physically free, will wander only around his 12-foot space, still tied to the limits that were set in his mind. We too can be bound by the invisible chains through limiting beliefs about ourselves that might have come from an upbringing or our possibly churches or our schools, our social contexts or our neighbors, stories that bind us, that convince us that we're not good enough. For me or for others, I don't deserve to be happy. Life is hard and it's just going to take it from you anyway. Women are less than. Men don't cry. And on with these cultural things we have. And through the direct childhood influences, although we no longer experience them, they still survive in us, in our memories, etched into how we think about ourselves. In the story I told about my rock garden, I'm going to imagine a different ending. If I had heard through my formative years that my ideas are dumb, that nothing I ever try is good enough, it's not going to work, what are you thinking about? Those impressions and beliefs about myself would have changed my whole story that I imagined Friday morning. So it would be something like this. Then that Friday morning when I woke up, I'm thinking of the weeds growing in the garden spot. Oh, I'm so frustrated. So here it is. I wake up. Oh, I have to clean up the garden spot on the golf course, and I don't even want to think about it. Garden spot flashes through my mind. And then I had these random thoughts, as I did in my beginning story. My back hurts. I hate weeds. I'm hugging a tree. I'm a park ranger. I'm washing dirty clothes. An image of a rock garden flashes, and then I have a sense of excitement. How cool would be rocks instead of weeds? Image of golfers standing to admire the rock garden. I can do this. Image of rocks piled up in a garden spot. What a dumb idea comes from nowhere. All your ideas are so dumb, they never work. Who has a rock garden on a golf course? What's wrong with your mind? What ideas have you ever had that worked out? Your grandkids are going to laugh at your idea. They don't really love you anyway. They just tolerate you. So just don't even bother with it. This isn't going to work. The golfers are going to probably throw rocks at the rock garden to try to knock off the rocks. This is ridiculous, just like all your other ideas. These thoughts are accompanied by images of failures when I have failed before, flashes of criticism, an angry teacher yelling at me for forgetting my homework, a sense of being laughed at, or words imprinted in my mind that remind me as an adult I am not creative. To end this scenario where my ideas don't work, I get out of bed, I put on my dirty work clothes, and I am driving the cart to start weeding the garden, and I pass that rock pile with a sigh. Attacking the weeds as I do, they seem to be laughing at me, like everyone else, at all of my dumb ideas. Our task as an individuals and as this community is to look to the horizon, to tear down the boundaries that limit our vision, and imagine a welcome that greets us with something new. Someone once said, I imagine a boundary that says, here and no further, that limits me. But when we break free of our fears, the horizon appears and says, welcome. And for inspiration, we simply need to remember the history of this congregation and all of those whose imagination brings us to where we are today. To have had imagined building a church or starting a church in an opera house in downtown Davenport, to move to a room in a city hall when the rent got too much, to building a church on 10th and Perry, to imagine a structure such as this in a pasture. That's imagination. To imagining partnering with other faiths, a congregation and a Jewish community, to support each other and to grow. To imagine our thermal heating, to imagine a giving garden, to opening up our physical space for rentals that provides us with extra income. To imagine the witch's ball, a vendor's fair, a silent auction. To imagine the creative uses that we do with this congregation and this sanctuary, the beautiful property that we have. Who imagined all those beautiful trees to bloom at the right time? Well, that might have been God, but we planted them. All imagination is built on the knowledge of who we want to be as our cornerstone, and look where it has taken us. As someone once said, it's all made of pieces and parts, my friends, each of them longing to be rearranged. Or maybe it's a story, and the pen is in our hands. Indeed, the pen is in our hands, and I see in my imagination the horizon with a sun rising, ushering in a new day. Beautiful sparkles shine from the dew that sings as if a chorus to us. I see that within those small sparks of light, all the members of this congregation are there, who still imagine with us, who began our story and passed the pen into our hands. And with that they sing, keep writing our story. Let's do it. Amen. Oh, is that you, Tom? Oh, I'll do it. I'm here. Okay, we are going to reimagine our childhood by singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. It's in order of your service, and let's rise.
You may be seated. This is our time for announcements. And as you know, I will repeat though, announcements should be submitted by Thursday at noon. And do those by submitting them at office@uucquc.org. We do have one announcement, and it's an important announcement that relates to next week. Unfortunately, there will be no Mother's Day, Mothering Day brunch this year. The welcome team, however, is planning a few things to make the day special to honor those among us this day celebrates. If anyone would like to bring something, they're welcome to do so. We will have decorations and a few special treats at our normal coffee hour, so we hope that you will join us next Sunday for our service and the celebratory coffee afterwards. There are also announcements in the back of your service, and that you can take a look at those weekly announcements. And for those that are online, and that's what I do about once a month, given that I come from Dubuque. So I see you in person at least twice a month, and then I'm online once a month. And I don't see these announcements when I'm online, but I do find that it's a good idea after the service ends, it ends way too soon, that I do a little bit of exploring. I go to our website, or I go to UUA's website, which is very easy to get to, uua.org, and spend a little bit of time exploring the website. Sometimes I find things that are directly related to our service, because Soul Matters is such a wonderful resource that we've been using. Sometimes it's just exploring. So those are our announcements for today.
Yes, so let's do the chalice. Join us as we extinguish the flame with the words on the screen or in your order of service. As we extinguish the flame It sparks a fire within us. Out of that light comes imaginings. From our imaginations, new beginnings. Let us carry this in our hearts until we are together again. I'd like to end with a prayer for imagination, written by Rosemary. It states, "There are so many boundaries in me, so many limitations, prisons, places where a line has been drawn, perhaps by another, perhaps by me. The line says, stop. The lines say, don't be curious. The line says, make yourself small, now smaller. But imagination is a big pink eraser that rubs out the lines, smears and disappears them. Sometimes it's more like a tear, a small rip in the known that bids me to look through the lines as if peeking through a curtain. And sometimes the imagination takes a line and it bends it, it twists it, like a clown with a balloon, until what I thought was a boundary becomes a bird, becomes a crown, becomes a flower. Or it turns that line perpendicular so that what I thought was a deadline becomes a path. I want to listen for the voices beyond the boundaries. I want to open up to what I can't yet see. I want to hear the welcome of the horizon and, like a bell calling me home, let it lead me. May it be so for you and me, so that on that horizon, we together may yell, wee wee! Go and have a great week. Please stay until we hear our magical musician. Sorry.